UnlistedLeaf on the stage right now. Everyone give a round of applause to UnlistedLeaf. Woo! How's it going, man? How's it going, man?
Yeah, it's going pretty good. I think it's the final day in America. I literally fly home to Australia tomorrow, Monday.
You fly back home tomorrow, Monday.
28 hours of flying. I got to go from here to LA to Sydney to Adelaide. So
that's pretty cool.
I leave Monday, get home Wednesday.
What time do you leave from here?
I think later at night tomorrow, and then Wednesday afternoon, which is bonkers. So.
Hey, that's going to be tough.
Should be good.
Right next to me, looking pretty, is NostalgicThrill. So, wave hello, NostalgicThrill. Just wave hello. Do not make any noise. Do not make any noise for him. He's a strong but silent type, so he's not gonna say anything. He's gonna sit here and stay quiet. No, I'm just kidding. Give this guy a round of applause too. Woo! There we go. All right, we're gonna keep this really light. This panel isn't too long, so we have some interesting questions. He did have a cool question. He said, "How's your experience in American gas stations?"
Oh. They are fantastic. American gas stations are very different to Australian gas stations. But then I went to Texas recently, and there was one called Buc-ee's, and it was huge. That thing was massive. It reminded me of a scene of Cars when Lightning McQueen's got a refuel. So nice and pristine. Like, that's what it reminded me of. But they're fantastic. They sell so many things there. We loaded up on a lot of treats, beef jerky. Incredible. In Australia, it's like, all right, get your petrol and leave. Here, it's like a Disneyland experience. So.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
If that was Disneyland, you definitely need to walk into a 7-Eleven.
Yeah, it was. I'm still mind blown, to be honest. It was pretty crazy. There's merch. There's merch for the gas stations here. It's incredible.
Yeah, for sure. Have you ran into any poisonous or venomous things in Australia since you are from Australia?
Yeah, I think I've seen like a bunch of snakes, a bunch of spiders in the garage. We've got a thing called a redback spider, and if you step on that, then it's not looking good for you. I've seen about 5 of them next to my car at home, so it's pretty common. But I feel like if you also just, you don't, I don't know, step on the snake, it's not going to bite you. It's not the end of the world. So I think growing up, I sort of learned like, all right, it's not going to kill you, so it's going to be okay if you just don't step on it and leave it alone.
Yeah, we don't have that here.
I know. I saw a cockroach and everyone like dived under a rock last night. Oh my gosh. And I was like, guys, it's a cockroach. It's going to be all right.
It's not poisonous or venomous.
Yeah.
No, so you've been on YouTube for quite some time now. I know you have a lot of your fans out here. Guys, make some noise. Yeah.
Thank you.
How has it been being at, I mean, obviously Dallas last week was your first trading card convention. Outside of Worlds, but how was that experience like? Because I know this is kind of different from what you normally do. So what has like that experience plus this experience been for you so far?
It's crazy. I think like in Australia, there's not too much of a TCG collecting scene that often get together. So it's amazing to see everyone come here and they're like, they know so much about Pokemon cards, and you're like, oh my gosh, there's people like me here that like collect just as many cards as me. Because I think it's so easy to always feel like, oh, I'm the only person that collects it. And then coming to these things, I kind of realize I'm like, oh, everyone does the exact same thing as me. Like they all waste their money on Pokemon cards. This is great.
It's like I'm not the weirdo here.
Yeah, I always felt like, oh, I probably collect too many cards. You come here like, oh, everyone collects heaps of cards. So yeah, exactly. So it's exciting. I think it's really cool.
Ready to go. Cool cards. Cool cards.
Yeah, hanging out with everyone's amazing, and seeing all the fans even cooler. So
yeah. So I know you've been part of box breaks so far here in the States.
Yeah.
What has that been like for you? Like being involved with the community and that kind of aspect. Like what has that whole experience been like as well?
I'm such a I get nervous opening up boosters that aren't recorded. So like when someone comes to the booth and they got like a booster box, like, oh, we're gonna open a couple of packs. And like, we sure we don't want to whip the camera out? Like every time, like we don't have the camera rolling, we're gonna get something crazy and have no documentation of it. So, and it's also crazy. Like people will just open up $3,000 boxes here. It's like, oh, it's all right. We'll get a live streamer. I'm like, oh. If I had like was a little kid and I had $3,000 box, I'd be like, oh, it'd blow my mind. So to be opening up crazy stuff is it's next level coming here and seeing the expensive stuff. It blows my mind still.
Absolutely. We were supposed to have Gary, King Pokemon, here, but unfortunately he has certain flight issues, and he is kind of getting old, so it was kind of tough for him to make it from this event to this event. He's young at heart, but there's only so much he can do. So. Gary, if you see this, we love you.
There you go, King Pokemon, legend.
Yeah, so you've been on YouTube for how long now?
It's 10 years this year, like literally, it's my 10th
Wow.
year. I started when I was 16, so, yep, grandpa over here, you know?
Yeah, you're like the boomer of YouTube.
I am. It's crazy to think, like, so many people quit or, like, they're not doing it anymore, so it's pretty cool, though. There's so many more people making Pokemon card openings. For the first 5 years of my career, I always told everyone, I wish there was one other person that made Pokemon card openings, because I was the only one for ages, and then slowly, people started making content, and it's been amazing now, so many creators, and it's there's a lot of things to watch, and before I had nothing to watch, so it's really cool.
I'm sure a lot of people here want to know what has to be the most special moment or the most cool card you've ever pulled.
Yeah.
We get this question a lot, but I'm sure it probably changes from time to time because there's just so many memories to pick out of the 10 years that you've been on YouTube.
I don't think it was in a card, but the best memory I ever had was when it was a 1 million subscribers special, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna buy the base set booster box, the original first ever one. I opened up the seal, and then I opened this so it was $800 for the box. I saved all my money. I opened up the first booster, and it had a black triangle on the front of the base pack, and I didn't even know what that was. I was like, oh, that's weird. They've messed up the printing. So I was opening up the boosters, and I was like, hang on, all the boosters have a black triangle on there. I paid $800 for this box. And then I look up on eBay at the time. I was like, what's these black triangles mean? And it turns out it's one of the rarest things in the hobby. They printed the black triangles to cover up the first edition logo. It was an error, and those boosters, together as a booster box, were selling for $12,000.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy smokes.
That actually happened to myself, Sarah Natachani, and Don Diego in Tampa.
It is
We
crazy.
opened up 2 booster boxes, and they both ended up being both black triangle error boxes back to back. And that was a crazy moment because we were like, wait a sec. It was such a delayed reaction because the people in the audience were like, Shiv, this is a black triangle air box. And I'm like, look at it.
The thing with those boxes, you don't know until you open them. You can't tell that the packs are black triangles. So opening that and seeing it was just mind blowing. So that was probably the coolest moment. And then it ended up on TMZ here in America. They're like, this guy got 1 million subscribers, and then he opened up this box. So someone sent me that, and I was like, oh my god.
That's how you know you made it.
Yeah, I know. Guys, we got on TMZ. That's all right.
Yeah, Pokemon made TMZ.
We're good to go.
Yeah. So I know that you've been doing this for quite some time now. What are some of the obstacles that you faced when it comes to producing content? Because I know there's a lot of people here who see your content, who kind of want to do the same sort of thing, or you have kids here who want to do the same thing with their parents. What would you say is those? What would you say are those obstacles that you can kind of inform them, so that way they can kind of get an idea of what they're kind of getting into, and then overcoming that?
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing for me, I always found that I never had a routine per se in my day. I was always I don't know, because I do YouTube full time, I don't really have a boss. I was my boss, so I never had this routine where I'd wake up and be like, I'll do whatever in the morning, do whatever in the afternoon, hopefully I get a video done. And the channel was for a whole year, never grew, never got a subscriber. I sat in 1 million subscribers for a whole year. It never moved, and so I was on maybe 1.1. And after a year, I was like, all right, let's get a routine going. And I noticed if I set a routine out through the day, in the morning, walk the dog, then come home, have breakfast, record a video, get the footage compiled, and I structured the day. And I kid you not, this first 6 months I had a routine, the channel picked up again, and then we got from 1 million to 2 million in I think a year and a half, and after just doing nothing. So I learned that having a structure and a routine and making sure everything happens each day, and you're hitting all your goals, because you can set things out, but if they don't get done, then they're not going to happen. So having a routine every day was huge for me, and making sure the subscribers knew that I was making 3 videos a week, and they could check back at the end of the week and they'd have 3 videos to watch. And yeah, people knowing what's coming. They don't really guessing all the time. So if you got a structure, I feel that works really, really well.
For sure. This is a selfish question of mine. what would you say is a card that you're actually chasing after that you have not yet had in your own personal collection after 10 years of doing this? Because like I know, like for us collectors, there's always something that we're always going after, and like there's always that one card that could be that end all be all.
Yeah.
But like, what's that one card for you that you're still trying to chase, or like what's that one thing that escaped you that you just haven't been able to find since then? Because like I know there's a lot of stories of people who actually have things that they saw but they passed on, and they just have not seen it since.
I've got a long list. So like when I went to Japan, like I did like a Japan trip maybe in 2015, or like just as Pokemon Go was starting, I went to a raw card shop and they had tropical, like they had all the trophy cards and everything, bargain basement prices, like booster packs for $5, Neo packs, and I was like, that's the coolest thing in the world. And I remember I only bought like maybe 4 Neo packs for $20, and I was like, oh, that'll do. And I look back at I filmed them. See, people will go back to my videos and go, oh, like at 2 minutes and 16 seconds, he bypasses a $16,000 card for $100 there. Like, it's that whole video is a list of regrets. I was thinking about doing a reaction video of me like with a box of tissues just crying, like it's horrible.
That'd be a good thumbnail.
It's so bad, but I think like a Grail card for me, if you guys know the Ishihara card, that is like, oh, it is crazy. If you guys don't know, chuck it in Google. It is something else, but that's like, oh, that'd be unreal to see and have.
The Ishihara card is a pretty big card too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only a certain amount of people got those, so
yeah.
That's kind of interesting because like the artwork on it is definitely different. What would you say is something that you're looking forward to as more of these events happen? So like we have Worlds coming up. What are some of the things that you look forward to doing when you go to shows like this?
My number one thing is like collaborations and meeting the people that I talk to online all the time. So being in Australia, I form like a lot of relations. I get to talk to people on Instagram all the time, especially through the pandemic. Like I wasn't allowed to leave Australia for 2 years. So I was buying mystery boxes. I was talking to like heaps of people, but it would be like, conversation, and it would kind of die because I'm like, well, I'm never going to America. So finally, like coming here, I get to meet everyone in real life. It's like the best thing in the world. I finally get to the people that comment on the videos, they're like, it would be great to come to America. And in my head, I'm like, that's never going to happen. Uncle Lando's not coming to America. So finally getting to do the shows is like, I get to see everyone that I dreamed about. And it happened. Like, past 2 weekends have been crazy.
Yeah, I'm sure like these past 2 weekends have definitely been a great moment for you because not only do you get to experience the aspect of working and collaborating with creators and other people who produce content, but also you have a lot of fans here, and I'm sure that has to be surreal. It's like, man, I get to do this, and I get to meet all these people who watch my content. Like, it doesn't really hit you until you're like here.
I know. I still don't know. I still don't know why anyone watches my videos. To be honest, I think I'm still a bit too crazy. So, Mum doesn't understand either. She's like, all we used to do is throw your chair around the room. I just heard banging upstairs, and then every time we got fan mail, I wasn't allowed to chuck it out. It was fan mail get delivered. She's like, now, Michael, we file that away forever. All right, that's going in the filing cabinet. So at home, we got a big filing cabinet, all the fan mail. She's like, you got to treasure each one of those, Michael. And I'm like, all right. So, yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. It's kind of like one of those parent moments where you put your thing on the fridge.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it is.
That's exactly that, except that you have a filing cabinet, which is really cool. What would you say, well, if you could give any advice to a lot of these younger guys over here who want to do what they love, like what's that one piece of advice that you would give to them when it comes to anything that they want to do in life?
I think persistence and making sure you're doing it regularly. So whatever you want to do, if it's content creation, I find that doing it regularly. So people that post once a month, they're frustrated, they're not getting anywhere. I think if you regularly post a couple times a week, even if it's not the best video, one of those videos will catch on eventually. And I think it goes for anything. To become an actor, you just got to really grind those auditions or whatever it might be. Just hone your craft and pick out the best people, the people that you dream about becoming, or you and take qualities, write down what they do and what you really like about it, and be like, all right, how can I implement that into my daily routine, and how can I work towards that? And it really does happen. I'm such a believer in manifestation. Do you really think about it every day? When I walk my dog, I always think in my head, it's just going around all right, I want this to happen. I want this to happen. And it's crazy. So much of it did happen. So I think, just always be thinking, and really, honestly, anything's possible because I dropped out of school and somehow sitting here. So
hey, same. I dropped out of college.
It's amazing, yeah.
Yeah, I think to add on to that, I think passion's like a bigger thing too.
Yeah.
Like if you're passionate about it and you, like you said, if you speak it into existence on a regular basis, then eventually it'll happen. Like add that with patience, then eventually it'll happen. Like
Yeah.
it's time. Because like if you're consistently hungry, if you're consistently passionate, then that's something that I think is going to be beneficial for yourself as a content creator or well, with any career.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to go ahead and get set up for the audience to give out questions to you.
Let's do it.
Because I think I've taken up too much mic time. And Nostalgic Thrill here has been, very talkative. So if you can raise your hand, we'll do a few questions for the next 14 minutes. So you can come on up, and then we'll get you, and then you. And if so, they have a mic right there, can someone set that up? They got it.
What's one of your best cards that you've ever pulled?
The best card ever pulled ever in the history of the channel? The Rainbow Red Pikachu, the big chonky chew I got recently was really, really good. I love pulling that one. Any of the Charizards, I'm like, that's the coolest thing in the world. But yeah, one that stands out. Rainbow Rare Tag Team Charizard from Unbroken Bonds. That was huge. That was cool. And then I ripped it. Yeah, big chonky chew, I reckon. That's my standout, the Rainbow Rare one. Yeah, thank you for the question, though.
That's a great question. Come closer to the mic and say your name.
My name's Dylan.
Hey.
Scale of 1 to 10, how bad did you feel when you ripped the Rainbow Red Charizard tag team?
It was horrible. I thought for 4 days whether I should upload that video or not. I'm like, I know the comments are going to be quite bad. And then it came up with the idea. I was like, well, I got a bonus one. So if I upload the video, that's like bad karma. But then if I give the second one I had in good condition away to the kid, then that's good karma. So it evened out in the end. But people still ask me about that. That's probably my number one asked about thing. And it's in my collection, Pride and Joy in the middle. This rips Charizard and a top loader. Everyone still asks about it, and they always follow up with, "You should get that graded, man. You should take that to PSA." Yeah.
That's a good question. Thank you.
I'm starting my own YouTube channel. What video should I post first?
Are you doing Pokemon cards or anything?
Just cards in general, mainly Pokemon.
Yeah, I think just get started. I feel like having your own twist on it definitely helps. So there's a lot of channels that open Pokemon cards, but then I think adding your own twist and then having your own catchphrases, and then I also think there's multiple ways of going about it. So you could start on TikTok and then grow your TikTok really, really big and funnel the traffic through TikTok onto YouTube and then upload that as YouTube Shorts. So YouTube's got a new feature called YouTube Shorts at the moment, and they love under 60-second videos. And they supercharge viral stuff. So if you make a YouTube short, which you can film on your phone vertical, that'll grow really big as a video and get you subscribers. Mm-hmm. And then it grows the channel progressively. But I'd start there. I'd do YouTube shorts, I think.
Alright, thank you.
No worries.
That's a good question. All right, we got time for more questions. Come on up.
My name's Ryan. How old were you when you opened your first booster box?
Ooh.
First boosters. Well, I've got a photo. I sent the story the other day. When I was a kid, I was so obsessed with Pokemon cards. My dad, when I mow the lawn, my dad would pay me in Pokemon booster packs. And I got so motivated. And these were Team Rocket first edition packs. So he would buy them for $6 and he'd pay me every time I mowed the lawn and I did a chore. And I got so motivated. I mowed the lawn 7 times in a week. And he worked out that was a bit too much motivation. So I used to then get funneled 1 card per chore because I was that obsessed. So then he started paying me 1 Pokemon card per chore, and I'd clean the house, wash the car, I'd mow the lawn. He'd have to do 10 different jobs to get the booster pack in the end, but that's how it was. And I reckon I was 5 or 4. I was obsessed with Pokemon. I had this crazy collection. I've got photos of it. I don't know where the cards went, but I got these great Polaroids of me with Dragonite first edition.
Oh, my mom threw away my cards.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think they're in the recycle bin. So, yeah.
2 weeks ago, wow.
Recent.
Hey, there you go. That's cool. That's cool.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Celebi Ultranaut's pretty cool.
All right, we got the kid with the drip.
Yeah. Hey, man.
He's going to fix the mic for you. Say your name, and then you can ask your question.
coolest Charizard card you've pulled?
The coolest Charizard card. I pulled a base set original Charizard. Oh, I know. I pulled a first edition Charizard out of a Germany first edition base set booster pack, and that was crazy. That was like, I think it's got over 1 million views or something. It's called a Go-Work in German, and it's the coolest moment ever. I bought a first edition Charizard, and I remember I sold it on eBay for like $200, and I thought it was the best deal ever. The regrets. But that was my favorite, yeah.
And what YouTube video is that on?
I think if you just type in UnlistedLeaf first edition Charizard, should pop up. Awesome.
Thank you. Yeah.
How do you deal with hate and
The negative comments. Yeah, it's really difficult. I think I still struggle with it a lot. I think I just have a lot of filters at the moment on my Instagram, my YouTube channel, so you can block certain words out. That's helped a lot, and I think I just try not to read too far into it. So I've learned now, as the channel got bigger, I only read the first couple hours of comments, and then I'll have a scroll through the first few pages. But I know not to read after a while. They'll come back. So I learn make sure the video's doing good, and I read those comments, but I don't really dwell on it. If people are coming back to the video later on, I sort of leave it for a little bit. But it's a tough one. I think just know that you would never see those guys in real life. They'll never come up to you, and it's just on the internet. So you just gotta leave it and set up the right filters and all that. No worries.
That's a good question. Yeah. I think that's a relevant question for a lot of us, because I know for myself and you, we deal with that kind of stuff on a regular basis, and so with that in mind, it's kind of important to remember that none of those people really know you, right? The only people that know you for who you are your friends and your family, and I think that's who you really need to listen to the most. That should be a lot louder than really any sort of random noise from some random person on the internet. All right, thank you for the question. What's your name?
My name is River.
River.
And my question is, what is your favorite Pokemon set ever?
Whoa, ever. I mean, Skyridge is really good. I love the E-Series, one of the most expensive ever. I also love EX Fire Red Leaf Green. That's got the classics in it. Team Rocket Returns is another fantastic one. But I think if we're looking modern sets, Celebrations is beautiful because it's got cross-section of everything. And when you get to buy an ETB, you get the newer side, you get the fun old stuff. So Celebrations, I think, for the new stuff is fun.
Yeah, mine is probably Shiny Fates.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
That's a good set.
Yeah. I opened some recently. Got a video coming out this week, Shining Fates. It's a good one. Yeah. No worries.
Say your name.
I'm Roger. What is your chase card for Astral Radiance?
Ooh.
I pulled the Palkia on my first booster box, which is mind-blowing. So I reckon now we're going to get the Dialga. You just got to follow up. Maybe get the gold card. But I'm also I know the Pokemon Go has the Pokemon cards coming out in a couple of weeks now. Ooh. So Uncle Andrew's going to save the pennies in the piggy bank because I'm going to spend it on that set coming out.
Or you could just spend all those pennies trying to find one of those misprint boxes that have Pokemon Go cards.
Oh, I know.
Ooh.
I think that's more pennies than I could ever see. It's
content.
It's pretty cool. I think that's nifty. I'm keen for the set though. When it comes out, I think it'll be huge. Awesome. Thank you, man.
Good question. We have time for maybe a couple more questions, and I like the outfit.
Yeah.
My name is Magnus, and I'd like to ask the question: if you could only open one Pokemon card set, what would it be?
Oh, that's a good question. Celebrations, because you got heaps of Pokemon card sets really rolled into one there, a really good cross section. But if it had to be a main set, probably one of the Skyridge is pretty good back in the day. I think this is such beautiful artwork. The cards are really, really nice. E-reader, you can have some fun with it, Probably, yeah, I reckon, I could say everything. Probably Skyridge or Celebrations, I reckon.
My name do you
You're right.
It's okay.
What do you do when you're not making YouTube videos?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's honestly like, so most of my day is making the YouTube videos, but I'm also like, I got my dog at home, so I'm always like walking the dog, taking care of her, making the food, because I feel like it's such a big part. You can make your lunch, your dinner, your breakfast, and I love like watching movies and TV shows. I'm like super up to date with most things going on, so I love that kind of stuff. I've learned recently that as much as I love to work, I used to work like from when I woke up, went to bed. Now I learned I gotta like actually have some me time at night, so I really, really enjoy like watching TV and everything going on. It's quite fun.
Awesome. All right, this is our last question.
My name's Brody, and my question is, what's your favorite like shiny Pokemon card?
Oh, shiny Pokemon card. Do you remember Shining Raichu from Neo Destiny? Oh my goodness. I literally brought mine from Australia to get graded at PSA like this trip. I found it and it was the best feeling ever. That's such a gorgeous card. Like I reckon that's probably my favorite Shining card. Shining Raichu Neo Destiny. It's up there.
That's a pretty sick card. We had a lot of great questions on this stage. I have one question for you, and then we're closing it out. You said that you have catchphrases. What are those catchphrases? And we would love to hear them.
Well, we got the staple. We got holy mac and cheese and meatballs in my pants, and then holy mother duck, and then you got the classic where you end the videos. You always say, "All right, guys, until next time, gotta keep on gaming. I'll see you then, guys." And that's it.
Do you actually make the noise?
Yeah, I do. I go shh, and then I know I got to edit it and wind it out right there.
That's nice. That's
Yeah.
nice. Well, Ando, we appreciate you coming
appreciate you
here.
guys.
We hope you have a safe trip back home to good old
Thank you.
Australia. Hopefully you don't step on any snakes.
Yeah, I got my fingers crossed as well.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll figure out how to fix that kind of problem.
Yeah.
And, again, make sure you guys subscribe to Unlisted Leaf. Everyone, please give him a round of applause.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. You're amazing.
And everyone give a round of applause to Nostalgic Thrill.
Yeah.
I'm the silent type. I'm NotShivam, and that is the end of this panel. We have another panel coming up with Dr. Applesauce, and he has some pretty cool guests coming up. So you guys can actually stay seated, and we're actually going to have more people coming up right after this panel. So thank you guys again. I'm NotShivam. This is Nostalgic Thrill. This is Unlisted Leaf.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. It's amazing. That's great.